Hello, boils and ghouls. Welcome to episode 215 of Dads from the Crypt. My name is Jason. Tonight, we will be reviewing the menu. Joining me is Mondo.
Hello.
Hello. And we have our special guest. Yeah. We have a special guest tonight. He is Chef Joe Gatto. Welcome.
Hello, boys. Thank you for having me back. You know, I love this show, and I love how that opening. I love the opening, but I love that you let the music run a bit. It's nice.
That's the best part of the show. Is just the opening and the outro.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I always say about Tales, like I always say from Tales from the Crypt, it works because you have the Crypt Keeper at the end, the Crypt Keeper at the beginning. It's like it just kind of like sandwiches everything. So even if everything in the middle sucks, you still have them coming back at the end. And also shout out to Hi-Fi. Our friend Eric Noel from Bloody Disgusting, not Bloody Good Horror. I was looking at Bloody Disgusting just a few minutes ago for some horror news. He did our music. He also has a new track out, so we'll find him on Spotify. I believe it's HY-FY. Correct, Mondo?
That's it. I'm trying to get him to put his stuff on vinyl, but it's a daunting effort. It's not easy like it used to be because.
Yeah,
like I even it's not even my project. I already have the layout in my brain for how it should look and the name of the album and everything like that. And he agreed with me, to be fair, but it's it's money and all that.
I'm just imagining Mondo trying to do a name that short but as long as possible and like the metal vine writing.
So first of all, as a big metal fan, I'm a big fan of band logos you can read. like don't get me wrong. I'm okay with the wacky ones, but I like every band I've done, our logos have been legible. I'm just gonna point that out.
Mm-hmm.
It's good
because even as a metalhead, I hate looking at a band name. I'm like, oh, this band sounds good. Their name is like just fucking
one of my favorite memes is that where it shows like that vinyl seat cushioning that's all cracked and everything, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's the best metal band ever."
It's a Vegas thing. The wind here gets really bad, so the joke is always like, if you have a trampoline, like, nope, now your neighbor has a trampoline. And someone posted like a tree that was knocked over with a bunch of branches, and it goes, "Be careful, it's so windy in Vegas. Black metal band logos are just flying around the streets."
Yeah. All right, well, we've got a lot to get to tonight, but before we do, just want to give a quick shout out for our Patreon. We have a bunch of mini reviews on there. We have reviews of Weapons, Companion, Strange Darling, the first Treehouse of Horror, Simpsons Treehouse of Horror episode, Ichi the Killer, The Ugly Stepsister, and now we have some new ones for Together and Him. So check that out. Anyone at the $3 and above level can access those. We also have some polls that we put on there. We want some feedback from our listeners. So all you have to do is sign up to be a free Patreon subscriber. Don't have to pay anything. And then you can answer a poll about what kind of content you'd like us to cover going forward. We've been kind of doing random stuff lately, but I want to get back into some regular formatting. So I'd like to hear from you, the listener, on what you'd like to see. And
shame on all of you. No one has signed up for the $1 million tier yet. I just need one person to sign up for the $1 million tier. Just throwing that out there.
and that's where you get all of our feet pictures.
Yeah, I'll do anything you want. Like if you got the $1 million tier, just
right. I'll kill someone.
I mean, maybe
my brain goes, I'll do almost anything, but I'm not going to kill a puppy. Like that's just too far.
Okay. Person, yes,
that's the $2 million tier.
Ooh, still.
That's the question. How much would it take for you to kill a puppy?
There'd be no amount of money. No amount of money. I have a bleeding heart for animals, so like I'm the senior dog guy. I rescue senior dogs. Like, no, I'm not gonna hurt an animal, Jason, you monster. How much would it cost for you? How much would it take? Can we get?
I don't know. Can we get an update on your newest rescue? Have you got a name yet?
Yeah, she's a young one. And we are going with one of my favorite TV shows of all time, not named Tales from the Crypt, is King of the Hill. So she is Ladybird. Named after Ladybird Hill, though, the bloodhound of King of the Hill. Because one of my favorite things at King of the Hill is Hank always has this gruff persona, but I love the moments where he lets that go and he has those tender moments, and they're usually when he's with his dog. Like there's a scene where he's just checking stuff out, and he finds a cowboy hat, and he puts on Lady Bird's head, and he got this big smile on his face, and then Dale walks in, he grabs it and hides it behind his back. Or they do the whole dog dancing episode, and I've always loved those moments because, like, is there any better relationship than a man and his dog?
Right.
I
mean,
all right.
Wife and dog.
Do you guys remember that Mad magazine where they had the gun to the puppy's head and they were like, "Buy this magazine or we'll kill this dog"?
Yes.
I do. They had years ago. I saw someone made a meme out of that. There's a PETA billboard. And this is not a knock on any of our vegan or vegetarian listeners, but I just thought it was a funny comment where it's a picture of a puppy and a picture of like a baby pig. And it says, "You'll eat one, but not the other." And the person made a meme and says, "You don't know me. I'll eat that fucking puppy."
Speaking of eating, we are recording right before Thanksgiving. So we were going to make this kind of a fun culinary episode. Obviously, Joe, you were on for our Evil Dead 2 review. We had a great time, and I was thinking, what other movies could you bring your expertise to? And the Menu is one of my personal favorite movies. Yeah, and with Thanksgiving coming up, we're going to talk Thanksgiving foods after our movie review section. So make sure you stick around for that. But again, we're talking The Menu, which came out in 2022. Just to give a little synopsis. A young couple named Margot and Tyler travel to a private island to dine at Hawthorne, an exclusive restaurant run by world-renowned but increasingly unhinged chef Julian Slowik. The evening begins as an extravagant culinary experience, but the tone shifts as each course becomes a meticulously crafted psychological attack on the elite diners. Chef Slowik reveals to the guests, the food critic, the wealthy regulars, the corrupt investors, the washed-up celebrities, and the sycophants were all invited for a final deadly menu, exposing their moral rot. Margot, who is not part of Slowik's carefully curated guest list, becomes the wild card. As night unravels and the courses grow more disturbing, she challenges Slowik's artistic pretenses and confronts her own reasons for being there. Realizing she doesn't fit into the grand design, she cleverly appeals to what little humanity he has left. In the climax, Slowik completes his masterpiece by turning the diners into little ingredients for his final course, the s'more, immolating them along with himself in a fiery finale, while Margot escapes by rejecting the pretentious experience entirely by ordering a simple cheeseburger and leaving the island as the restaurant burns behind her. And that is The Menu. Joe,
Spoilers.
Starts off.
Spoilers.
We're always about spoilers here.
I was kidding.
Joe, you're our guest. You're also obviously a very well-renowned chef. What do you think? I really want to know what your immediate reaction to this movie was, and then what else you thought about this.
I mean, going in, I had pretty high expectations, and I think it really delivered. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really fun. I thought they poked fun at the culinary world the right way as well, because it keeps people in check. Because I mean, yeah, food's great and it's important, but we're still just making food. So sometimes it can get extremely pretentious. And I thought they really towed the line perfectly there of making fun of that, but also showing that. And I thought that the part with the cheeseburger was, I've watched that part a couple times because I thought that was perfect, because it had been playing on the pretension the whole time, but then you actually saw why he cared. You saw the passion of what it really was, that it did mean something deep down to him, and it's just gone awry. So I thought that humanized him perfectly, because I know that's how I feel about food. Like it was that simple moment. It was something as simple as that. I thought that I really enjoyed the character development. I thought they developed all the characters out. It wasn't just like, the Star Trek, red shirt guy. Like each character had really good development. And, for being stuck on an island, it really was fun, entertaining. I really thought it moved and was paced well. And I thought the payoff was really good at the end. I thought that was a really good movie. And I thought Fiennes knocked it out of the park. I thought he was the perfect, just borderline, where he was almost it was almost parody, but
Right.
he kept it because he's so talented. He kept it away from that and hinging in that little bit of realism, I thought is what made the movie work. Had they gone too far with it, cackling kind of crazy, it wouldn't have worked. But he kept that tone really, really well. And he was the driving force. I thought she did a good job. And I can't remember his name, the kid that plays Beast.
Nicholas Hoult.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah.
Like, because like when you do festivals and classes and stuff, there's people like that. Like there's really,
Well, yeah.
so I thought that was, I really overall, I have to say, I thought it was really great. I really enjoyed it. What did you guys think of it?
I love this movie, and I think you nailed it. Like, in a lot of stuff I love, especially niche things, you find pretentiousness kind of takes over sometimes,
Yes.
and not so much. And I feel like the chef in this, I think Ralph Fiennes' character was just in a state where he was just over these people he's serving. Like it's almost like he missed the days of serving for the common man who really
Right.
appreciated the food and enjoyed the food, and not these snobs that we're always like looking for the next high, almost like a drug addict. And it reminds me of years ago when I was a very young man and playing in bands. A buddy of mine auditioned, and I'll call his band out by name because they don't exist anymore. But he auditioned for this band called Industry in Las Vegas, and there's this little place called the Alamo where all the bands we used to play at, and it was cool because this is like back in the late '90s, early 2000s, where you could just go to another room and hear another local band play. Everyone practiced there. So he's auditioning for this band, and he plays a song and he nails the song. And I'll never forget this because it was the most pretentious thing I've ever heard in my life. But the main songwriter goes, you're playing the right chords, but I think you really need to try to like think about what those chords mean and why I chose those chords. And I was just like, at this point, you're getting to the point where you're smelling your own fart, and you're making this out to be bigger than it really is. And like you said, I think we said a little bit in the last podcast. Like, one thing I always love about the idea of food and cooking for people, it's one of the most personal things you can do for somebody, is give them this life-sustaining thing. And it's so thoughtful, even if you're just making Spam and eggs. Like, it's just thoughtful. You're still thinking of somebody else. You're still putting your heart, you're still taking your time out of your day to make a meal to help somebody else eat. And I love that aspect of it. And you have people that have gotten so far from that original concept of that original shell of this to where the bread course is what kind of encapsulate this for me, because I do like the fact that these tech bros and Margot are both like, where the fuck's the bread? like this is a joke, right? Like, you're fucking with me. And the chef is doing it intentionally to fuck with them.
Oh yeah.
Like you can tell he's doing it to see how far he can take this. And you see this in the art world, like recently with the guy that sold the art piece of the banana taped to a wall for like $1 million.
Yeah, I saw that.
Just to show that people will do this, to show and you see it in fashion too. And a friend of mine worked for a famous fashion designer, and the joke was him and his buddy had a bet as to who could make the most money selling the stupidest shit. Knowing that people would pay it just because it had their name on it or whatever. So it really encapsulates a lot of that and the consumerism and capitalism and what we strive for. And even the stuff I love, like we were joking about black metal, but that's that genre too, where people want to act like it's bigger than what it is. Like, at the end of the day, it's music. But you'll have these bands that'll be like, oh, we recorded this under the full moon on a Friday the 13th where we consumed the blood of... No, you didn't, dude. You sat in your bedroom with your guitar and your 4-track Tascam recorder recorded it. It's fine. Like, it's still good. It doesn't change.
It's okay.
Like,
it's okay to not. It doesn't have to be. You didn't have to see God, and it's okay.
It reminds me of someone years ago, and it might have even been on Twitter, was talking about like how to get good at writing. And they're like, you need to be like Stephen King. You need to eat, sleep, breathe writing. Do nothing but write. Practice, practice, practice. I think Stephen King responded with, he goes, yeah, I just did a lot of cocaine.
Right.
Like, just saying, like, it's not that deep, dude. Like,
I love those moments where you see someone breaking down an artist's work and then it cuts to the artist and they're like, yeah, that's not what I meant at all. Like,
right.
Exactly. I just thought that'd be a cool line. Like,
yeah, we deal with it in the food world. You get that people doing molecular gastronomy and creating like beet globes, that take them 16 days to make. And like, I get it. Like you're doing something that's not food. It's more like, some kind of theater
Performance art,
creation kind of thing. But
performance cooking.
right. And people sit and pay thousands of dollars for it. And I like to eat. And I like to serve people food that, they don't have to break open with a whip and like suck in the smoke and like all this crazy shit. Like I just love food. So when it made fun of pretension like that, I loved it. I was like, yes, we need a kick in the head in our industry. And that take on consumerism, you're totally right, Mando. Like that take on consumerism like hit really home for me. It reminded me of like Dawn of the Dead,
Yeah.
that take on consumerism and just wandering the mall aimlessly. Is it really the zombies doing that, or is it us? So that's what I loved about it, because it understood what it was saying, but it didn't have to overstate it. It's for you to figure out, but they're aware of what they're saying. I thought that was a great piece.
I went to a indigenous metal festival in Los Angeles, and a bunch of indigenous bands played, and it was a really great time. And I read a review on Reddit of it, and someone said the best act of the night was the performance piece before the last band played. It was just raw and visceral, and basically did this artsy fartsy review of it. And my favorite thing is the first comment goes, "Bro, you got that much out of a sound check?" And it was literally just a band sound checking. And I laughed so hard, and I'm like, dude, like, could you not tell that was a sound check? Like don't you don't have to try to be visceral. And I still remember, like, someone asked me one time, like, as a kid who grew up listening to Slayer, like, well, what do you get from their lyrics? I'm like, I don't know. They yell about Satan, and it sounds cool. Like,
I think for that guy,
nod my head in the car, like.
I think for that guy, the shrooms were just finally hitting when the sound check happened.
Sadly, he'd have had a much better time if he was on shrooms.
Yeah. So a lot of people, or not a lot of people, I've seen some people doing like the best films of the last 25 years as 2025 is wrapping up. And I was thinking about this, like, what movies do I think about the most from like the last, 20-ish years or whatever. And this one is like one of the first ones that really came to me, because I think about this movie a lot, because it's definitely about cooking, but you can take, as we've already done so many times, you can take the themes and the ideas and put that into anything, into sports, into music, any type of obsession that is commodified. This movie really applies to. I was watching a video earlier today where it talked about that this could be about content creation. People you see on like cooking is creating creating a content, a product, and the way that our society is like moving. That's like people don't want to work in factories anymore. They want to be content creators, and we're all content consumers, and that's becoming
no one
this
wants to work in factories anymore. Let's just be honest. But
yeah.
I don't know if anyone ever did, but
well, yeah. But like that's the big push. I was like, oh, we need to bring the factories back because people want to be factory workers, whatever that's worth.
Right.
So it's a movie that's very specifically about cooking, but it's also on a micro level, but also on the macro level about all those things as well. And there's like, I just love the cast so much. Anya Taylor-Joy is always, always puts in a great performance. Nicholas Hoult is like, at least until Superman, I thought he was very underrated, and that's been kind of his breakout. I mean, every movie he has is kind of like a breakout because he ends up being one of the best parts. I loved Renfield that he was in, Mad Max, Fury Road, and the X-Men movies. Dude is just so talented. And then I even love like
he hits that pretentious guy like perfectly, and like I love the scene too where he's like almost fake crying over the food to prove that he because it's almost performative in these scenes too, because everyone's trying to one up the guy next to him, like, no, this touches me more than it touches you. And I feel like that was going on a lot there too, which I absolutely loved.
And I love how like every bite of food he has like an orgasm, because he's like thinking it's so the best thing he's ever tasted his entire life. Like he's not really analyzing anything, he's just like I don't know. He's just so wrapped up in it. And then like I love the facial expressions he's making as like all this crazy stuff's happening, partly because he knows what's really happening, and also just because he's like so wrapped up in his own shit.
Totally.
One of my
in that
favorite
scene-
interactions is when he goes, "Do you think he's mad at me?" And she goes,
Yeah.
"I don't think he gives a shit that you exist." Like, I thought
Yeah.
that was just like a great line. And for a minute there, just to be honest, like I kind of at the beginning of this movie, I kind of get upset at Margot a little bit, just for a minute, because you have someone who's really like enjoying this experience, is obviously passionate about it, even though it's performative, and she's just shitting on his passion. And then you realize that she's just seeing right through him. And then it all just makes sense that she's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna fucking shit in this guy," because she's right through it. But I do kind of like that too, because he's it's so performative what he's doing.
And that's the beauty of it, right? Because he gets exposed as what he is, of not understanding what cooking is, yet he's the one that's talking about cooking to people, but he doesn't know anything of it. And I had a very similar experience as a chef when I was at this steak company had us go to like a dinner to try their new steaks and see if they were good and see what we thought about it. So it was me and about 20 the big influencers in Boston, but I was the only actual chef. And so we did the tasting and everyone's commenting on it. And they had one of these like old-fashioned crank grills where you can crank the steaks down. And they were like,
cool.
"Chef, do you want to try this out?" So I was like, "Yeah." So I went over and a whole bunch of the influencers were there and they were flipping some steaks and stuff. But I realized at that moment that here are the 20 biggest food influencers in Boston and none of them knew how to cook. And I was like, "Do you guys know what you're doing?" And they were like, "No." And I was like, "Well, this is
Just messing
interesting.
with
You're
it.
informing the public, yet you have no knowledge of, you're just repeating things that you hear and just kind of spouting opinion, but you don't, that's the danger of what's happening now. Like I think social media is great, but it's also a danger. So I ended up teaching all of those influencers a cooking class. We all got together
Oh wow.
and I taught
That's
them a
cool.
cooking class, and it was great. But that's the thing, right? Because like I had Emerald on as well on my show, and we talked about what this is with food influencing, because people are creating dishes not for technique, not to understand it, not to make something delicious, but to gain viewers. So they want to make it bigger. They want to make it, they don't understand it. They're just trying to one up each other, like you said. That's what it reminded me of, and try to get more likes. And I love it more. I don't understand it, but I'm going to say I love it more so I get more likes. That's where I thought the commentary was really, really deep with that kind of thing, because I do think it had something to do with content creation, because that's so heavy in the food world, because I don't think there's more creation of content about anything than food.
Yeah, I mean that's such a universal topic that everyone,
right?
Everyone, so everyone can relate.
Like, I don't love cooking competitions sometimes on TV, only because I get anxiety when people have animosity toward one another. But I really love Next Level Chef. If you guys ever seen that,
My buddy
is
Mike
Gordon.
was on that.
Yeah, but what I love is they bring these social media chefs in, and versus like professional chef versus home chefs, and it's kind of cool because by the end of it, like you get these social media chefs that almost do a 180 during the course of this, where they realize like, oh, I can do this, and I'm good at this, and I'm good at making food, not just showing people who I am. If that makes sense. Like
Right,
they gain their confidence in their actual ability to create food as opposed to just being a personality.
Right, because anything social media is attention. It's an attention economy. So you're not trying to make something good or quality. You're trying to do something that will keep people's attention, so they'll watch longer.
Right. It's a great.
That's really what they're. That's what they're really peddling is.
That's why Jason's our social media guy. He's good at that.
Yeah, exactly.
He's the best. He's the best three at that. I mean, me, him, and Jody.
I have the face for a social media consultant.
Wait, you have the face for podcasting. You have the
yeah,
the talent for social media.
Personality of
the personality for social media. There you go.
And then that scene though, where he's just like, the chef gives him the jacket and like writes his name on there, personalizes it for him, and says, "Okay, now cook." Like that must be the most terrifying thing to just be like, just
that
cook.
was so satisfying.
Was it?
Like,
I've heard other people who are chefs, and like that's the most anxiety thing you could probably do to someone.
Oh
Is
yeah,
just
people panic. Like people, even at a party, if I'm standing near someone and they're like grilling, and we're just like shooting the shit, you can tell because I'm there that they start getting, even though I don't say anything, but you can tell that anxious, or people will say, I get this all the time, like, I would never have you over for dinner. And I'm like,
oh,
geez, like, what do you think I'm gonna do? Like, like
Yeah.
they're gonna serve chicken. I'll be like, did you not brine this? Like, you moron. Like, it's strange. People, it panics them.
Well,
I
I think
get
everyone
that because
expects like a
like
Gordon Ramsay response, like, "What is this shit?"
Right.
I
Right.
always try to
Dog
help with
food.
this because when I was younger, well, I'm still really into craft beer, and craft beer has gotten so pretentious, it's turned into wine, and I really hate that. But back in the mid 2000s, me and my buddy did a website. We're the only website in Las Vegas talking about craft beer, and I'd have friends be like, "Oh, I don't want you over to my house because you're just going to criticize my beer." I'm like, "Dude, if I come into your house and all you have in your fridge is Miller, we're just drinking Miller. It's fine. I'm not a snob. I'm a geek. I enjoy the stuff, but I enjoy the people I'm with more than the
Right.
beer I'm drinking, if that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
for sure.
Like, I feel if you came to my house, I would cook you a steak. And if you didn't like it, I'd be cool with that. As long as we're hanging out and shooting the shit and watching horror movies, we'd be okay. We'd have a good time.
Right.
Now it depends on what horror movie they want to watch. That's where you
Then
become
I'd
the
start
snob.
judging.
Say
Then I would openly judge and mock them.
It's like
that'd be actually the most nerve-wracking thing of mine. Like, I gotta pick the right movie.
That's right.
it's like when I was
That's where
dating a
I'd
girl
get
once.
nervous.
It's like when I was dating a girl once, and I went over to her place. She's like, "Oh, let's watch my favorite horror movie." I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "Ghost Ship," or I was like,
First of all,
okay.
the first 15
The
minutes of
opening
Ghost Ship,
scene is
brilliant.
but
Yeah.
after the first 5 minutes, I was like, "Okay, let me reevaluate this." But
I get the thing where people are like, "Oh, you're a metalhead? Do you like Five Finger Death Punch?" I'm like, "No, absolutely not. No."
Also, I want to keep talking about Anya Taylor-Joy's character Margot, who's actually Aaron. We've come to find out. It's again this script for this movie is very well done because we're made to think that her and Tyler, Nicholas Holt's character, are dating, boyfriend girlfriend, and he's like they're kind of bantering, but he's kind of being jokingly a little bit snobbish. He's like, "Well, I'm buying dinner," or he says at one point like, "I'm paying for tonight."
He's being jokingly, but there is a weight behind that joke. It's
that we find out,
yeah,
because it turns out she's actually an escort. So he wasn't just talking about dinner; he meant I'm paying for you, literally, to be with me tonight.
Right, that sense of ownership.
Yeah,
yeah.
Which again goes to like he's not enjoying the things that he's supposed to, like the things that matter. He's just enjoying owning things and being,
Well, it also he makes a good point saying he never went to prom, he never went to a dancing school because no girl would go with him, and it's showing that he's the guy who's got money and now he's trying to basically use that to fill those gaps in his life as opposed to going to therapy and trying to figure his shit out.
Yeah, not trying to be.
He
He's
wants
not.
to go back to the high school reunion.
Yeah.
Well, it's not, and I'm sure it's not that he wasn't bad looking or anything, but it's just he was kind of an asshole, probably. I mean, if he's anything like he was then. So he's not, instead of becoming a better person, he's just trying to buy his way into it. Again, I love John Leguizamo in this. I love when a movie star plays a heightened version of themselves. I thought he was very enjoyable.
Leguizamo was one of those guys when I was younger. I always saw as just this comedic wacky guy. He is such a good actor and just kills every role he's put into.
I still love him in the Baz Luhrmann Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, he's
so
amazing in that. He's
amazing.
When he shows up in John Wick.
Yeah, in John Wick, he's great. He's the best part of. He's the best part of the 1997 Spawn movie as the Violator.
Oh,
yeah.
I love that movie.
I've really erased that from my memory.
Oh, man. I love that
as a comic book fan, I hated that movie. But
I wanted to love that movie, and I've watched it again, trying to love it again. and I can't find a place for it for me. It just I don't know.
I'm with you.
Epitomizes that time. I just love it for it.
If you like Spawn, though, if you never watched the 1990s cartoon they did on HBO, which was on HBO Max, that was way ahead of its time. Like that was like one of the first ever like mainstream gory adult oriented cartoons that came out. It's true to the comic and it's fucking amazing.
That was done by Mike Vosberg, who did the Tales from the Crypt.
That's right.
Cover.
That's right. Yeah.
So he won an Emmy for that.
Wow.
And again, speaking of like early nostalgia, we have the wife of the wealthy businessman is played by Judith Light from Who's the Boss?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which again, a show I watched a ton as a kid because I love Tony Danza. That was just really fun to see her in that. She's really fun. She actually is really funny, like on the low key on that in this movie.
Yeah, she's great.
Yes. There's also a metal band called the Tony Danza Tap Dance Extravaganza. Just FYI.
Okay, I gotta check that out.
What a killer name.
It's not my favorite band, but yeah, the best name.
Yeah.
And then Hong Chow as Elsa she's like was the head of the what would you call her? The head of service?
Yeah. Like she yeah.
She is so good because originally I think with the name Elsa they were going to have like a Norwegian, blonde, fair-skinned blonde woman, and for whatever reason she auditioned and like, okay, we're just gonna keep the name, have her. She's just so quietly intense.
Yes,
like
super
whenever I'm eating Mexican food with my wife, I'm like, would you like a tortilla? She just keeps saying it, tortilla, to the finance bros.
My favorite lines in the entire movie. The finance bros goes, "What the fuck is this?" And she goes, "It's a tortilla." Like I just absolutely love how she deadpans that. Yeah.
And then there's the part where they have the angel investor who they drown, and she does that signal thing by flapping her arms. So funny. It's
dark.
fucked up, but it's funny.
Also, one of the two people I've seen pull off the bolo tie, her and Joe Bob. That's it.
There you go. That's a good call.
Nothing ruins a good suit like a bolo tie. I'm just going to point that out.
Yeah, again, I think this movie isn't quite a horror movie. It's very much more black comedy because it's very funny in a very dark way.
Yeah,
it is, but they do a really good job of I think the first scene where you start to get the vibes that something's not right. Like obviously going into it because of how it's marketed, but is when he starts telling the story about his mom being strangled by his dad.
Yes.
I think that's such an intense scene because it's the first time there's any hint of like what the fuck is happening.
Well, I felt like
did you know
that piece.
So they're in that for that scene, they're serving plates with a chicken thigh because they got stabbed.
Yeah,
they're serving them on phone cords.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Is the base because that's what his father used to try to strangle his mother with.
I didn't get
that. So that's actually, if you look closely, I was like trying to figure out what that was, but it's like a curled up phone cord. There's just the art design in this is just so above.
That's brilliant. I didn't
kind of what Mondo you were talking about is I remember the advertising for everything in this showed like they're gonna go, there's stuff is gonna happen at this secluded restaurant stuff, and I just figured okay they're gonna like kidnap them and cannibalize them, and that they were just gonna like just be like, kind of like a Texas Chainsaw for upscale food. And I'm so happy. I was so happy when like they didn't go that route. That would have been the easy route. Okay, this restaurant's killing people, making them into fancy food. Okay, fine. But so we just like so much more. Joe, can you talk about like the food design in this? Because I was reading a lot about how like deep
the food design was impeccable. I mean, whoever the consultant was knew what they were doing. I mean, it was spot on. And I think like that example of the cheeseburger again at the end, that was like, you remember what that looks like in your head. And how often do you remember food design in a movie? Right? You can see the crinkle cut fries, like, like the food design and how they came up with the actual menu. I thought, I don't know I'll have to find out who the chef was.
It's Dominic Crenn.
Wow, I don't know him, and maybe he works with film, or I mean, I thought it was spectacular.
According to IMDb, the lavish food layouts were prepared by renowned French chef Dominique Crenn, the only female chef in the United States to attain 3 Michelin stars for her restaurant Atelier Crenn in San Francisco.
Oh, wow.
Jeez. Wow.
But
Nailed
the food
it.
was actually the only all the food was inedible except for the cheeseburger. That was real.
Oh, it's depressing.
Oh, that's good to know.
But
makes
everything
me
else,
happy.
well, I think for continuity and for the lighting and everything else was fake. Because I was
keeping
watching
set-
it a little bit this time. You never really see them eat anything. You seem like picking with their forks.
I mean, we've been on sets, like here, here's your coffee, and
Yeah.
then by the time I'm actually drinking it, it's 6.5 hours later.
Ooh.
So, like if you have pork out, forget about it, right? I mean, even when we did my TV show, like even with the kitchen working full time and us shooting out front, it's just timing is impossible. But it makes me happy that the cheeseburger was real.
Yeah.
Cheeseburgers.
Just getting through IMDb, originally Emma Stone was attached to play the lead role. I thought she would have done a good
That
job
makes
as
sense.
well.
She would have been perfect.
And then they also talk about, someone brought up how each of the tables was one of the 7 deadly sins.
Oh,
Interesting. Yeah,
So, like-
greed. I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, they should have
So,
had
like,
Morgan Freeman and Brad Pitt at one of the tables.
Oh my god, that'd have been so awesome.
What else? Yeah. Oh, yeah. So what about the food critic? How did you feel about that?
I mean, food critics are tough, right? Because
They're doing the job.
yeah, and I feel like food critics are already a parody.
Mhm.
So when you ramp it up a bit, it's just like, yeah. I mean, yeah, that was the part that I was like, okay, like, because I think it's kind of hard to make that.
Well,
It
I think,
seemed pretentious, but like literally, I felt like they were just pulling articles out of the Times.
right. Well,
Yeah.
I just
what I
liked how she had the other guy from the magazine was with her, and everything she said, he just kind of like agreed with and tried to amplify.
Oh, right, the little sycophant. Yeah,
Yeah.
like that was I enjoyed. The yes man.
Mhm.
I like that a lot. Food critics are
Um,
weird.
Well, I always loved on like cooking shows, and they'd always have the one like celebrity on the show that the chefs, the critics would be like dissecting food, and they'd be like, "Yeah, this is great. Give me more of this." Because I was kind of thinking about that, how we do our podcast, where we review movies, but we're probably like, Jason is the harshest critic out of between me, Jody, and him. And I don't mean that as a knock on Jason, but
No.
like Jody and I are like, was that movie good? No. Did I have a blast with it? Fuck yeah, 5 stars. Like, we're so like not gonna dissect it or break it down unless it's obviously super offensive to our tastes.
Yeah.
And I do think though, like you're right, that there are people that feel they have to do that because of what their role is and and I understand that too.
Yeah, that's how I felt. But the yes man was great. I need one of those.
Right. You know what, Joe? Hire me. I'll agree with everything you say.
Deal.
Well, you see it too, like in like just it's kind of funny because have you guys seen the movie Sideways?
Oh, it's
Yeah.
one of my faves. I was
Same
just
here.
talking about that
Yeah.
because I didn't realize Paul Giamatti was such a huge horror fan, and he produced one of
Yes.
Don Coscarelli's films. I didn't know that.
Have you seen him in 30 Coins?
No.
I'm telling you right now, 30 Coins did 2 seasons. Oh my god, I hate it right now because Jason, while I'm talking, find the director's name. He did one of my favorite movies of all time called Day of the Beast from the 90s, where it's this priest trying to be evil so he can summon Satan and fight Satan and kill him.
I love that movie.
And Day of the Beast. And but they did the first season in Spanish. The first season hit so well. They did a second season with Paul Giamatti in it. That show is fucking great. I will go on the record right now as saying one of the best horror shows I've ever seen in my life. And I absolutely love it with Paul Giamatti. And Paul Giamatti also does a podcast where it's him talking about conspiracies and cryptids and stuff. And
Oh wow.
I love Paul Giamatti is like him and Sam Neill are like my 2 favorite actors of all time.
Those are both great choices. I mean,
God.
Giamatti's
But Sideways, I love the part where he's like drinking the wine. He's like, I taste this. This is nope, not very good. And Thomas Hayden Church goes, I like it.
Yeah,
and he just
totally.
drinks it.
That was
Whenever I drink wine, that's how I feel like.
that's Alexander Payne directed that, right?
Yeah.
Payne?
So
Yeah, Payne.
Oh, Sideways. Yes.
yeah. So back to the IMDb trivia. When it said Emma Stone was at one point, she was going to be in it when Alexander Payne was going to be the director.
Oh, that's interesting.
And 30 Coins is Alex de la Iglesia. And
I do want to
highly
also
recommend all of his work.
Yeah,
I'm not drinking any fucking Merlot.
So, did you ever hear that Merlot sales tanked after that movie?
Oh, really?
Like legit tanked after that movie.
That's a riot.
I have a friend of mine who's he's a guy I trained jiu-jitsu with. He's a hedge fund manager. He's independently wealthy, very wealthy. And he invited me. He's one of those guys that every meal, like he doesn't. I met him when I went to Seattle for work. He goes, "Let's meet for lunch." I said, "I'll meet you for lunch, but understand, like we're in very different brackets as far as our pay goes and how much money we have." Like I had to make that very clear. Like, so we had at a modest place, but I went to one time to his house and had a bite to eat and a drink, and he goes, "Oh, I'll just grab a bottle of wine." I'm like, "Dude, don't grab anything crazy because I don't understand wine. Like I drink $20 bottles of wine. I'm happy." So he's like, "Oh, I'll get something modest." So he pours this wine and it's good. I'm like, "How much is this bottle?" He goes, when I bought it, it was about $200. It retails now for aftermarket right now about $1,000. He goes, it's one of my lower price bottles." And I'm like, "Holy shit, dude."
Jesus.
It was delicious, but I wouldn't be able to tell the difference between that and a $30 bottle of wine from Smith's or Kroger.
I think that's very true for a lot of things.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of things.
All right. I do want to give a shout out for the guy who did direct the menu, Mark Mylod. He's done a lot of TV, like Games of Thrones. He did some of the last season of Last of Us, but he did a ton of episodes for Succession, where he won an Emmy.
I still have not watched that, and I've heard I should.
I watched the
I like that.
Yeah.
I did not like the last season of Last of Us, though. That was
really? It was, well, if you played the game, you're kind of like, okay.
Yeah, I was just, my son and I were watching it, and I was just like, eventually something's gonna happen, right?
Yeah, well, they're trying.
Whenever I fire up like an old, like a horror movie, I'm just taking a chance on, like especially a slasher film. I'm like, we're 30 minutes in, and something's gonna happen, right? Someone's gonna die in this movie, right?
Guys, are we decapitating anyone here? Like,
yeah.
Where the Ghost Ship does the opposite, where all the cool stuff happens at the beginning, and then the rest of the movie, you're like, okay, is something else going to happen?
Is that the one where they get cut in half by the wire?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ghost Ship is like an hour and a half edging session. It's like, cool, we'll get you amped up right away, but you're never getting a release, buddy.
Jesus, man. Oh my god!
What time was it when it went off the rails? 11:05. Okay, just check.
Yeah, the 43-minute mark.
It's been a while since I broke someone on this podcast, so I'll take it.
All right, just to bring it back for a second, can we talk about the s'mores?
Let's
talk about s'mores. Oh man, that movie, that kind of, I've never been a huge s'more guy, but like now I'm like, no, I can't look at s'mores the same way.
Yeah, you can't. That's the beauty of it, right? They pick the right thing there for sure. And it was, man, I have to watch it again because I got to dig into it again. That's so fun. That's a great concept.
You know, is that a commonly held belief in the chef community, in the chef hive mind?
I mean, I don't want to break rank.
Yeah, you can't give away the industry, the inside baseball secrets.
Yeah, I feel like if I say something, there's going to be a knock on my door.
No, it's funny because I kept thinking about like the ending of Midsommar, which is like in that big, huge ornate dress, and things are just like, you know, burning all around. I just love that they make like these like shawls of marshmallows and these hats of chocolates.
Yeah,
it looks so ridiculous, brilliant. And then it's like melting on top of them. It's just the best ending ever.
It really does have that midsummer kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't put that together.
I never thought of that either. That's a good catch.
And then she's like looking on again at this big fire, like with her like good for her look.
Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, I thought that was brilliant. It was a good way for them to go. And I mean, it was just a really well written script because it didn't feel like they were copping out. It felt like the ending really was satisfying and it made sense and it tied it up the right way and it felt satisfying for the audience, I think, as well, which I do think an ending should have. I know there's endings that, you can't kill Riggs in Lethal Weapon 2. Like, I agree with that, but that one felt really good.
Yeah. Well, it just kept with the absurdity of it because this whole time, everyone's going to die and you're thinking like, how's he going to do it? Are they just going to like cut their throats or, do this or that? But now immolation while they're dressed up as s'mores is just like so absurdly brilliant and just fits with the whole thing.
Really
it really ties it together. It
ties the whole room together.
Exactly.
My big favorite movie of all time.
Ties the dish together. All right, let's move to our episode rating. We do 0 to 5, 5 being the best, 0 being the worst. Joe, what do you rate this movie?
I mean, I give the menu a 5, and I don't give those out with, I just, especially from a chef perspective, it hit a lot of marks for me. I didn't see and aside, we didn't even talk about the look. The look was beautiful aesthetically.
Yeah.
It really was fantastic. It was paced very well. I mean, I just thought it hit all the marks, and it's something that, can, in repeat viewing, it still holds up. It's not one of those movies. It's kind of timeless because they weren't mocking anything that's current. They were mocking, like we were talking about, consumerism and those kinds of things that, there is no time limit on those. So yeah, I'm going 5 out of 5 for that, for me.
Armando.
Yeah, I'm the same. I gave it a 5. I watched it today when I got home from work, and I've watched it previously, but I in my brain again, I was like, this is a 5. I was like, I wonder what I rated it the first time to see maybe if I changed my rating. No, I gave it a 5 the first time too.
Oh wow.
So, this is a 5 out of 5 movie. I mean, I can't say anything better than what Chef Joe said. It hits every single mark, and it's super satisfying.
Yeah, I'm a 5. Like I said, I think about this movie quite a bit. That it lives kind of rent free. I kind of equate this and this year's Companion are similar in ways. If I don't want to give away much, but I think they kind of go kind of the same themes, have a little bit of the same structure. And that movie again is still probably my favorite movie of the year. It's just a really, really well done script. It's well acted. The production design is really, really good. And again, it can be about one thing, but it can be about many other things at the same time, which is again a mark of a really, really good movie. So yeah,
I never thought of that. I never thought about the comparison with Companion. That's a really good comparison. I mean, I like the menu more than Companion, but still, the Companion is going to be the Companion is making my top 10. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I would still break the menu above Companion, but I think I do. But I didn't make that connection until I rewatched it today as well. But yeah, I think that makes sense. All right, let's take a quick break and do a shout out.
I am Keith David, and tune in to Dads from the Crypt.
And we're back. All right, Mondo, give us our song of the day.
So I'm going to use a band I've used before because it's a friend of mine's band from the Quad Cities in the Illinois region called Pit Lord. It's barbecue themed death metal where they've even had people on stage grilling while they play their show. And I've said this before. It's really easy to make a band in this vein that's kind of tongue in cheek and not take your music seriously, but they're also incredible musicians and take their music very seriously. Their music is very good. Cool. And they released a record in July called Massive Grilling Capacity. And the song I'm going to pick off that, most of their song titles are parodies of other metal bands, and they just kind of put their own meat/food spin on it. So the song I'm gonna pick, I love the song title. It's based off a Dimmu Borgir song, which is a Norwegian black metal band called Kings of the Carnival Creation. So they wrote a song called Kings of the Carnivorous Creation. So check them out. All their stuff's on Bandcamp, Apple Music, Spotify, maybe Tidal. However you find your streaming music nowadays, but the band is Pit Lord. Just pick any song off their new record, Massive Grilling Capacity.
When they make fun of like other bands, like they take other bands, so are they like the metal version of Weird Al Yankovic?
I wouldn't, in a way, I'd say, because I don't think anyone can be the Weird Al of anything, because he's so like unique in his own.
He's a singularity,
right? I was just trying to wrap my head around it.
No, even the man, I'm drawing a blank and I'm being a bad metalhead, but even so the album title Massive Grilling Capacity is a takeoff of the Swedish death metal band Dismember, and one of their albums is called Massive Killing Capacity. So they take these like brutal names and they focus it around grilling. Like Slayer released an album Seasons in the Abyss, and they did a record called Seasonings in the Abyss.
Nice.
So they're and Cannibal Corpse did a song called Gallery of Suicide. Their last record was Gallery of Skewered Swine.
Beautiful.
So but they don't take themselves seriously when it comes to that stuff. But the music they take their music is very good. They do take that very seriously, which is I think where a lot of parody bands and a lot of bands that are fun like this don't understand is you can have all the fun in the world, but the music still has to stand on its own. And I think even if you didn't know the song title and you're into that genre, you could enjoy the music. And they're a 2-man band, which is they play the drum machine, which is kind of crazy. But they're really solid and really good. So check these guys out. They like grilling meats and making death metal. Right. Pit Lord.
Can't go wrong with that.
Right up my alley.
Right?
All right. Thank you, Mondo.
You're welcome.
Joe, Chef Joe. I want some Thanksgiving cooking advice.
Sure.
First of all, what are you cooking for Thanksgiving? You were telling me that you're having like 17 people over.
Yeah. So
what are you cooking for 17 people?
I mean, I always like when we have it here, I do a lot of non-traditional things along with traditional things, just because I like to mix it up. I go to different countries, like just kind of having fun with it. So I'm actually doing like a cheddar and Gouda fondue for an app, things like that. And then, for main courses, I'll still do turkey, but I'll do sirloins, and then I'm doing a pumpkin gnocchi with a roasted red pepper sauce, and then like these potato stacks that you do in cupcake tins, where it's like regular potato, sweet potato, and you stack them with thyme and rosemary and Parmesan, and you cook them. So when you put them in the cupcake tin, they become super crispy on the outside, but they're like pillow inside. So just always doing something that's a little outside the edge. And then one of my partners is Ninja, and they sent me their soft serve ice cream machine. So I've been doing videos for them, and we're going to do a soft serve ice cream bar, and I'm going to make like eggnog ice cream, and all the kids can make their own soft serve, pulling it, and have a whole like topping bar that they can use. So it's always fun. I try to make it interactive. And just, I like to just kind of pivot and not do just all the traditional trimmings. And it seems like over the years, people have really loved it because there's some traditional there, but I like it to be part of a talking point and just having fun with it. So you don't get bogged down by tradition. I'll do some things that I always do. Like I make a Parmesan and rosemary focaccia with a pistachio pesto dipping sauce. And so my brother-in-laws if I didn't have that, they'd have my head, so I'll keep some stuff, I'll do some candied nuts, and I'll make some fresh pasta for the kids. So they'll have, some fresh fettuccine, and they can just have that. And, just always trying to change things up. I never do the same menu. It's always different, except they'll be like the staples. Like I'll do some turkey. Yeah. I'll do mashed potatoes. I'll have some of those, but then like the sirloins and stuff, I haven't done steaks before, so that will be fun. Oof. I just like to always keep it different.
I mean,
What's your
it's I have frequent flyer miles. I can get to Boston
Yeah,
by
I know.
Wednesday.
I'm like, where's our invite?
Just come to the side door.
There we go.
I'll sit at the kids' table too. I don't care.
I know. Eggnog soft serve. I'm there for that.
Oh, we
what-
did a video on it already. It was stupid. It was really, really, really good.
As a diabetic, the one thing I miss is
know.
real eggnog. I make a keto
Mhm.
eggnog every year now, but it's not the same. It's just it's good, but it's not the same. You
I
can't
get
get that texture.
Piggybacking on that, I love stuffing, but again, I'm like Mondo. We're on the diabetic train. What would you? Do you have any ideas for making stuffing more keto friendly?
I never do
Grain-based.
a stuffing. Well, I mean, I never did stuffing anyway. I did dressing, because it's
Or
different
dressing.
because you never want to actually stuff your bird because, it's death.
Yeah, okay. I use them
Yeah.
interchangeably.
Yeah. So, I try to put the word out, like, don't stuff
I
your
know.
bird,
Yeah.
because you're like putting it in the danger zone. Serving salmonella.
Here, have
But
this poison, please.
yeah. I used to do, one of the big dressings I did was cornbread and andouille sausage
Oh
one,
my god.
which was really good. But over the years, I've noticed like not as many people eat the stuffing at my dinners. It wasn't as popular. The kids didn't really eat it when I was growing up. Everyone ate it
Yeah.
all the time. And so I'd change things up and do different types. The cornbread and andouille was really good, but I'm not even doing one this year. I'm going to make homemade buttered dinner rolls and just have
Oh,
bread out
wow.
instead of doing a stuffing, because it just doesn't, we always ended up with so much left over. I was like, you know what? That was like, it was things like that where I'm like, why are we doing this? Like, we had a thing of cranberry, sauce, and like one person would use it. I'm like,
Yeah.
I want to rethink this and start making, instead of doing a huge turkey this year, because I do the turkey usually I do the turkey at mine, but like for all the other Thanksgivings we go to at everyone else's house, I still do the turkey.
No.
So
Oh, wow.
everyone calls me and says, "Can you do the turkey?"
How do
Because,
you do your turkey?
what's
Yeah, I want to
that?
hear your
Do
turkey.
you,
I
do
want to
you
hear
brine
turkey
it?
tips.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you're not brining, you're dying. I mean,
So are you wet brining or dry brining?
I'm wet brining, but I've dried brine as well. I've done both. Wet brining for me, I think, is just, I love wet brining because I think that osmosis process is really, if your viewers don't know how a brine works, you're putting it in a salt and sugar solution. I have lots of herbs and things. And what it does is the salt draws out water. And since the meat has, it has semi-permeable walls in the cells, it draws that water out, and then it takes this salted sugar water, and nature needs balance, so it's put back in. So you're getting the flavored salted water back in, which creates better flavor, and it also traps more moisture in, so you can, where people typically overcook their turkey, it saves you a little bit because it will keep it juicier, but you're also getting much better flavor. Dry brine does the same thing. It's just salt pulling out water and then replacing it. So I'm a big believer in brining, and, and don't use a roasting pan. A roasting pan is also the enemy of your turkey.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a roasting pan, because it comes up so high on the sides, right? And what you have, here's your turkey, right? The breasts are up top, and you need to cook those to like 150, right? 155-ish, because you're going to get 10 degrees of carryover. But I cook mine to 150, so it's like 160-ish, kind of, right? 160, 165 is, it's being served. But you have the thighs and everything on the bottom, which are 180. So that's the problem, right? Because you have to overcook the top to cook the bottom.
Okay.
And the roasting pan doesn't allow heat to come in and circulate under it, right? Because it's sitting on the bottom of it. So
Wow.
that's a problem. And that's why you get that rubbery skin and everything, because there's no heat passing through it. So what I do, I have a thing called the baking steel, which is what I use for pizzas. It's my buddy Andrus's company. It went from like a $10,000 Kickstarter to $1 million company in the New York
Oh,
Times.
wow.
It's incredible. So it's a piece of steel that we do all my pizza classes and everything on it, because you can heat it up to like 800 degrees. We do 550 for the pizza classes, and you get this beautiful leoparding on the bottom. It's perfect for pizzas. But what I do is I heat that up, and I put the turkey on like a baking sheet with a cooling rack, right, that you like put cookies on. So it's resting above, right? It has air in between.
Oh, wow. I never thought of that.
Which is very important. And then I heat the baking steel will keep temp forever because it's a big, thick piece of steel. So you heat it up to 500, then you put your oven down to 350. But when you slide that turkey on the baking steel, it has the space, but it starts cooking the bottom immediately because of that heat radiating up as the oven's cooking the top. So you cut your cook time by 30%, and you get and they're done at the exact same time. So if, one of the things I tell people is use remote probes. That's a really effective tool to have one in the breast and one in the thigh, and then you can see what's happening. And that's a really important thing to understand what's happening in your oven. If you're cooking by time, it's a crazy thing to do for the home cook, especially around Thanksgiving, because not only are you opening the oven but you haven't, I guarantee you haven't gauged your oven. So your 350 is probably 325. So when all of a sudden you're doing things by time and you're like, I don't get why it's not done. It's because your oven you're setting it for 350, but it's 325, or the opposite. It's like overdone and you're like, well, I cooked it for 20 minutes per pound, but your oven is 25 degrees off. So you don't even know going in. So that's the home cook, right? They take on this big day, but their equipment isn't up to it. They're doing multiple things. They have multiple. One of the things I tell people when I do Thanksgiving courses and things like that is, don't set yourself up for failure by having 3 things that have to go in the oven that all have to be cooked that day. Think it through, right? Make things that you can make the day before, right? And you just heating up. Like, the people put so much pressure on themselves, and then their oven space is taken up by a 22-pound turkey. So if you're doing turkey, brine it then once it's brined, take it out of the brine, dry it, and keep it in your fridge. If you have a second fridge, that's the best. You don't have to do this step, but if you want it the best that you can get it, take it out of the brine, dry it, and keep it in a fridge, uncovered overnight for 1 day, because the skin will dry, and that will give you a beautiful crispy skin. If you take it out of the brine, it might not get as crispy, just putting it directly into the oven where you're washing it off and then drying it. If you give it overnight in the fridge, it will really give you crispy skin. And then I always do like a butter herb mixture and get it under the skin and let that cook into it as it's going. And, temp it. You got to use, if you don't have remotes, check it. You got to check that temp, because you just don't know what's going on. If you're guessing by time, most likely it's not going to work. So that's my turkey tips.
Yeah. So for my wedding, we got like a whole pan set, and there was a roasting pan, but it came with this rack that you can put the turkey on top of. So there's good like 3 inches clearance.
The V rack, right?
So if you want to use so if you want to use a rack, a roasting pan, that's one way to do it. I wish I don't have enough space to do a wet brine, so I usually opt for dry brine, and I just I dry brine directly on the rack. In my fridge. I did do the cooler method once. It came out really good, but it was kind of a pain to keep putting ice in it.
Yeah, you do have to keep it iced. And like on the East Coast, I end up putting it on the porch overnight because it's always cold.
Yeah, exactly. Enough. Yeah, that doesn't work in LA.
So
I was wondering,
you're talking about to Boston by 4:00 on Wednesday.
I'm telling you, come to the side door. I'll be here.
Now, is there? I think I usually do this where I usually cook it thigh side up for the exact reasons you were talking about. So that side can cook quicker than the breast side. Is there a reason why people don't do that?
I mean, I've never done it that way. Most likely, my thought process would be people don't do that for aesthetics.
Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
Um,
There you go.
One thing I do love doing in my herb butter mix is I put lemon zest, like fresh lemon zest.
Perfect.
That was a game changer
I mean,
for me.
citrus and poultry play so well together. You know,
Now the big thing, the big viral thing I see that's been popping up the last couple of years, especially this year, is the cheesecloth in butter and then draped over a turkey.
I have not seen that.
Neither have I.
Oh, really?
No.
Yeah, so they like melt a ton of butter, put a cheesecloth, let it soak in, and then just drape it over and cook it, and then that just kind of like bastes the turkey as it goes, and then you just kind of like peel it off at the end.
That face said it all.
Yeah.
That sounds like some TikTok shit. That's not gonna work.
I do a lot of shit, and like that sounds TikTok-y.
Yeah,
because
sure,
you know, like, I mean, I'm not the biggest believer in basting anyway, because it's just running off the skin. You can get the skin really crispy, and I like when I finish putting the butter mix under it, I do like a dry rub on top of it, like salt, pepper, little garlic powder and onion powder, and I put that on to get that. And then when that gets nice and crispy, it's perfect. It seems like to me the cheesecloth would retain moisture and make the skin not crispy.
I mean, I don't make turkey that often. I make steak all the time, and usually I put it same thing. I put it in the fridge on one of those cookie sheets and let it just dry, because that way when it cooks, it gets the outside gets a better crust on it.
Yeah, a good thing with steaks is you take them out an hour beforehand and salt them.
Oh, I do that too. Yeah.
That's the best, because that's like a mini brine, and it really that helps when, you know, when you're browning stuff. That's the Maillard reaction, right? That's the sugars caramelizing from heat. So taking that time and drying them properly and salting them, doing everything you're doing, you're going to get the best product possible.
Nice.
All right. Well, again, I know. I'm like, I want to go. I want some eggnog ice cream that will spike my blood sugar all to hell.
Dude, it gets weird. The kids go off the rails here, but it's fine. It's Thanksgiving.
Their kids will bounce back.
They'll get.
All right,
I used to.
Joe, thank you so much for joining us.
You,
where can people find you and everything that you do, everything you got coming out?
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. I love coming on and seeing you guys. It's always so fun, and we do have great conversations. You can find me. Everything's on Instagram at Chef Joe Gatto. So you know, you want cooking tips, you want to see the new chocolate razor blades I just made that look exactly like razor blades. You can check those out.
That's so cool.
They're really cool. We did. If you look at the vid I made pliers and everything else, and they look exactly, you can't tell the difference. And then we eat them.
That's cool.
So fun Halloween stuff, right? I made a big brain cake, and I also did do you know what, you guys familiar with panna cotta?
Yeah.
So I made panna cotta, but it made it look exactly like a raw chicken breast. It was absolutely disgusting looking, but it was really tasty. It was like vanilla bean.
Well, I think I'd rather eat the bowl of fake human eyeballs than the fake raw chicken breast, just to be honest.
The raw chicken, even I had made it, and I was like, my son came home and he's like, why is this chicken breast out? I was like, it's panna cotta. And he goes, no, it's not. And I was like, no, it is. He's like, there's no way that's not real. And he touched it. He was like, no, that's real. I was like, nobody. And I, took a bite, and he was like, so we had a fun Halloween. So I do a lot of fun stuff like that on Instagram, always doing, and you can see the new eggnog ice cream.
Hell yeah.
I know. I'm going to look that up right now.
It's
okay. So well, we appreciate. Yeah. All right. Well, Joe, pleasure as always.
Thank you, sir.
We appreciate everyone for listening. We would really appreciate if you would give us a rating or review on iTunes, a rating on Spotify, like and subscribe on YouTube, and follow us at Dads from the Crypt Talk on TikTok. And with that, I thank you for listening to Dads from the Crypt.
Follow Dads from the Crypt on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or I will follow you to the grave. No, seriously, you really should watch. But be careful what you ask for. You may get it.